You guys, we need to talk about what's happening to Jenny Han right now, because the internet has absolutely lost its mind over the Summer I Turned Pretty, and honestly, it's getting scary. Fans are coming for this woman's throat so hard that even Amazon Prime had to step in and tell people to chill. We're talking about death threats, harassment on her birthday, and accusations that are so wild they'd make reality TV producers blush. If you want the full tea on this absolute dumpster fire, smash that subscribe button, because apparently we're all living in a world where attacking authors is considered a hobby now. So let's dive into this mess, shall we? Because what started as criticism over one episode has turned into a full-scale war that's exposing some seriously dark sides of fandom culture. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to understand why Jenny Han is probably questioning every life choice that led her to write these books in the first place.
The whole thing exploded after episode 9 of season 3 dropped, and apparently fans were expecting something completely different. See, at the end of episode 8, we finally got the moment everyone was waiting for. Belly and Jeremiah called off their wedding. The internet was buzzing, Team Conrad was celebrating, and everyone assumed episode 9 would be the Conrad and Belly reunion they've been craving for 3 seasons. Instead, they got an hour of Belly wandering around Paris by herself, having what the show clearly intended to be a journey of self-discovery. The episode followed her exploring the city, dealing with lost luggage, meeting new people, and basically just existing as an independent person for once. Meanwhile, back home, Conrad was getting emotionally destroyed by his family and friends, and Jeremiah was lying in bed looking miserable.
Fans were not having it. Within hours of the episode dropping, Jenny Han's Instagram comments turned into a war zone. People were calling it the worst episode ever, saying she wasted their time and demanding she delete the entire thing. The hate was so immediate and so brutal that you'd think the episode personally insulted their mothers. The comments were absolutely savage. People were writing things like, "Jenny, this episode could have been an email," and "You can literally take episode 9 out of the whole season, it wouldn't matter." One person even said they woke up at 4 a.m. to watch Jeremiah lay in bed and Belly chase her bag through Paris, and complained that as a 34-year-old with 3 kids, they didn't have time for this. The audacity of expecting a TV show to cater to your personal schedule is honestly incredible.
But here's where it gets really messed up. It was literally Jenny Han's birthday that week, and the hate didn't stop. While this woman was trying to celebrate another year of life, her comments were flooded with people telling her that her creative choices were garbage and that she should be ashamed of herself. Imagine opening Instagram on your birthday, and instead of happy birthday messages, you get hundreds of people telling you that your life's work sucks. The birthday attacks were particularly cruel because fans knew it was her special day and just didn't care. They kept commenting things like, "Worst birthday present ever was this episode," and "Hope your birthday is better than episode 9. Some people tried to defend her, writing messages like, "It's literally Jenny Han's birthday, and you guys are making fun of the show that she created," but they were drowned out by the hate mob.
What makes this whole situation even more ridiculous is that these fans clearly don't understand how television adaptation works. See, if you've read the books, you know that after Belly and Jeremiah call off their wedding, the story basically jumps straight to the ending. We're talking about maybe 10 pages total, covering what happens between that moment and Belly ending up with Conrad. It's literally a few paragraphs and some letters. Jenny Han had to expand that tiny section into 3 full episodes of television. She couldn't just have Belly immediately run back to Conrad after calling off a wedding. That would make her look completely unhinged and would invalidate Jeremiah's entire character arc. The Paris episode was necessary character development, showing Belly learning to be independent and process her decisions before jumping into another relationship.
But fans don't want character development. They want instant gratification. They want Belly and Conrad making out on the beach within 5 minutes of the wedding being called off, consequences be damned. They're so obsessed with getting their ship confirmed that they can't see the bigger picture of storytelling. It's like complaining that a meal has too many courses when you just want dessert.
The situation got even messier when you factor in all the behind-the-scenes drama that's been brewing. There have been persistent rumors that the cast doesn't actually get along in real life, particularly between Lola Tung and Gavin Casaleggno. Some fans have speculated that there's political tension between cast members, with claims that certain actors' different political views have created awkwardness during press tours and filming. Whether or not these rumors are true, they've definitely added fuel to the fire. Fans who already dislike Jeremiah's character have started projecting that onto Gavin Casaleggno personally, and some have used the alleged cast tension as proof that even the actors know the show is going in the wrong direction. It's honestly wild how people will use any excuse to justify their hatred. Gavin himself has had to address the intense hate his character receives, acknowledging that he knows Jeremiah isn't beloved by internet masses. The fact that an actor has to publicly discuss the harassment he gets over playing a fictional character shows how toxic this fandom has become. These are real people dealing with real consequences for doing their jobs.
But Jenny Han wasn't about to take this lying down. After days of relentless attacks, she decided to remind everyone exactly who they were messing with. Her response was absolutely perfect. She basically said that being passionate about a show doesn't excuse promoting hate and violence, and that criticism should never cross the line into harassment and bullying. She also posted some behind-the-scenes content, showing the incredible amount of work that goes into each episode, subtly reminding people that real humans with feelings create this content. Her message was professional but firm, essentially telling fans that their behavior was unacceptable while maintaining her dignity as a creator.
The response was so well crafted that it reminded everyone that they were arguing with a professional writer who literally created these characters and knows them better than anyone. It was like watching someone bring a machine gun to a water balloon fight, completely one-sided and slightly embarrassing for the other party. Quick subscribe break, because if you're enjoying this deep dive in the fandom chaos, you're going to love the other drama breakdowns on this channel. Plus, I promise we only have educational meltdowns here, not the kind that attack authors on their birthdays. Amazon Prime Video also had to step in with official statements telling fans to keep conversations respectful and warning against bullying cast members. When a major streaming platform has to issue public service announcements about not harassing the people who make your entertainment, you know things have gone too far. It's like having to put up signs reminding people not to throw food at the zoo animals. Embarrassing for everyone involved.
The whole situation really highlights the bigger problem with modern fandom culture, especially when it comes to romantic ships. The Team Conrad versus Team Jeremiah war has become so intense that people are losing all perspective. Fans aren't just expressing preferences anymore, they're treating fictional relationship outcomes like life-or-death situations. Part of the problem is that adult fans have completely taken over what was originally intended as teen content. These books came out when many current adults were in high school, so there's a huge nostalgia factor driving the intensity. Grown people with mortgages and children are arguing about teenage fictional relationships with the same passion they'd bring to actual political issues.
The shipping wars have become so toxic that fans are actively hoping for certain actors to fail just because they don't like their characters. People are writing detailed analyses of why Jeremiah is problematic while completely ignoring that Conrad has his own issues. It's like they've forgotten that complex characters with flaws make for better storytelling than perfect cardboard cutouts. Some fans have become so invested in their preferred outcome that they're threatening to crash out if Belly doesn't end up with Conrad. The idea that adults are having emotional breakdowns over fictional teenagers' love lives is honestly concerning. It's reality TV levels of investment in people who literally don't exist.
The pressure on Jenny Han to stick to the book's ending has become overwhelming. Fans are essentially demanding that she not deviate from source material they claim to love, while simultaneously criticizing her for every creative choice she makes. They want the book ending, but also want it expanded and improved, which is an impossible standard to meet. There's also this weird subset of fans who are terrified that Belly will choose herself instead of either brother, which has created its own conspiracy theories. People are analyzing every interview and social media post for clues about the ending, turning into amateur detectives trying to predict fictional outcomes. The amount of mental energy being devoted to this is honestly impressive in its complete inappropriateness.
What's particularly frustrating is watching fans completely miss the point of character growth. Belly spending time alone in Paris isn't filler. It's showing a teenage girl learning to exist independently before making major life decisions. But fans are so obsessed with romantic outcomes that they can't appreciate character development that doesn't directly lead to kissing scenes. The criticism of Episode 9 also reveals how many fans don't understand pacing in television. Every episode can't be major plot developments and dramatic reveals. Shows need breathing room and character moments to feel authentic. But modern audiences, trained on TikTok-length attention spans, apparently can't handle an hour of character development without immediate romantic payoff.
Jenny Han's situation is also part of a larger trend of fans feeling entitled to creators' personal lives and creative processes. Social media has made authors and showrunners more accessible, but some fans have interpreted that accessibility as permission to make demands and hurl insults when their expectations aren't met. The line between criticism and harassment has been completely obliterated. The whole thing is made worse by the fact that these attacks are targeting a woman of color who's created successful, beloved characters and stories. The level of entitlement and disrespect being shown is disgusting, especially considering that without Jenny Han, none of these characters would exist in the first place. She literally gave fans the foundation for everything they claim to love.
If you're still watching and haven't hit subscribe yet, do it now, because apparently we're living in the era of grown adults terrorizing authors over fictional relationships, and someone needs to document this madness for future anthropologists. What's really wild is that this controversy might actually hurt the show's final episodes. Jenny Han and the writers are probably second-guessing every creative decision now, knowing that no matter what they do, some subset of fans will lose their minds. The toxic response to Episode 9 might make them play it safe instead of taking creative risks that could make the ending truly memorable. The pressure is so intense that cast members are being careful about what they say in interviews, knowing that fans will dissect every word for clues and potential ammunition for their shipping wars. Christopher Briney and Gavin Casalegno have started giving more diplomatic answers about the show's direction, probably because they've seen how quickly fans turn on anyone who doesn't validate their preferred outcomes.
Looking at the bigger picture, this whole situation says something pretty depressing about how we consume entertainment in 2025. Shows aren't allowed to have quiet character moments or explore themes that don't directly service fan expectations. Everything has to be instant gratification and obvious romantic payoffs, or it's considered a waste of time. The worst part is that this behavior is probably going to influence how future shows are made. Creators are going to be even more afraid to take creative risks or explore complex character development because they know fans will revolt if they don't get exactly what they want immediately. We're essentially training entertainment creators to make safer, more predictable content.
Jenny Han's experience also highlights how female creators, especially women of color, face different standards and more intense criticism than their male counterparts. Male showrunners make controversial creative decisions all the time without facing the same level of personal attacks and harassment. The gendered and racialized nature of this backlash is impossible to ignore. The fact that this controversy exploded right before the series finale is particularly cruel. Instead of being able to celebrate the completion of her adaptation, Jenny Han has to deal with threats and harassment from the very people who claim to love her work. It's like throwing a birthday party and having the guests spend the whole time complaining about the decorations. As we head into the final episodes, it's pretty clear that no ending is going to satisfy everyone. Team Conrad fans will riot if Belly doesn't choose him. Team Jeremiah fans will be devastated if she does. And the Belly should choose herself crowd will be angry no matter what happens. Jenny Han literally cannot win, which makes the harassment even more pointless and cruel. The whole situation has probably scared other authors away from adapting their work for television. If this is how fans treat creators who give them exactly what they've been begging for, why would anyone else want to put themselves through this torture? We might be witnessing the death of author involvement in adaptations because the internet has proven it can't be trusted with direct access to creators. What makes this even more frustrating is that The Summer I Turned Pretty is actually a pretty good show that's been largely faithful to its source material while making smart adaptations for television. Jenny Han has managed to expand her story in ways that mostly work while keeping the core characters and relationships intact. But instead of appreciating that achievement, fans are nitpicking every creative choice and demanding perfection.
The Episode 9 controversy has also overshadowed what were actually some pretty important character moments in that episode. Belly's time in Paris showed her processing major life decisions independently, which is crucial character growth that sets up whatever ending we're getting. But fans were so angry about not getting immediate Conrad content that they missed the point entirely. Before we wrap up, make sure you're subscribed because the final episodes are going to drop, and this drama is definitely going to explode again. I'll be here to break down whatever chaos ensues, hopefully without anyone sending death threats this time.
The most tragic part of this whole situation is that it's probably going to taint Jenny Han's experience of completing her adaptation. This should be a triumphant moment, seeing characters she created years ago finally get their complete story told on screen. Instead, she's dealing with harassment and having to defend creative choices that are actually pretty reasonable when you think about them logically. Looking ahead, the final 2 episodes are going to determine whether this controversy gets worse or if fans finally get the ending they want and calm down. Based on the books, we know Belly ends up with Conrad, but the journey to that ending is what's been causing all the drama. If the final episodes don't perfectly match fan expectations, Jenny Han is probably going to face even more harassment. The whole thing also raises questions about whether creators should engage with fans on social media at all. Jenny Han's direct interaction with her audience has been mostly positive over the years, but this controversy shows how quickly that relationship can turn toxic. Future creators might decide that the risks of fan engagement outweigh the benefits, which would be sad for everyone involved. What's particularly infuriating is that the fans causing this drama probably genuinely love the show and characters, but they've completely lost perspective on how to express that love appropriately. Criticism is fine, even harsh criticism, but personal attacks and harassment cross way over the line into unacceptable behavior that helps no one and hurts everyone.
The Summer I Turned Pretty controversy might become a cautionary tale about fandom toxicity and the dangers of giving audiences too much access to creators. It's showing us what happens when passion becomes obsession and when fictional relationships become more important to people than treating real humans with basic respect and decency. As we wait for the final episodes to drop, the only thing we can be sure of is that no matter how this ends, some group of fans is going to be absolutely furious about it. Jenny Han has done her best to bring beloved characters to life while expanding their story in meaningful ways, but apparently that's not enough for people who want television to be a personalized wish fulfillment service rather than an artistic medium.
The most we can hope for is that the final episodes are good enough to remind people why they fell in love with these characters in the first place, and maybe, just maybe, fans will remember that there are real people behind the entertainment they consume. But given how this controversy has played out so far, I'm not holding my breath for that level of maturity and perspective from this particular corner of the internet.
Whatever happens next, Jenny Han deserves better than what she's been getting, and hopefully this whole mess serves as a wake-up call about how we treat creators in the age of social media. Because if we keep this up, we're going to drive away all the talented people who make the content we claim to love, and we'll be left with nothing but safe, boring entertainment designed by committee to offend absolutely no one.
And honestly, that world sounds way more depressing than having to wait an extra episode to see your favorite fictional couple get together.